Alrighty, guys, it's time to wrap it up for today. It is 3:30. And we get afternoon weakness, 2 o'clock, little pullback to the mode, then almost down to the midpoint. To be honest with you, I was thinking that they're gonna reverse this all the way down here to retest the lows again, but so far they found support here right at the midpoint in the initial balance range. So they took out the volume weighted mean and then some. We'll see. They're not quite done yet, but it had me concerned when they started heading lower here. I was thinking very much of hopping on a short trade, but this kind of grind to the downside. You don't want to sell the low. You want to get in on a pullback. So the best you could have done is one of these S's, maybe try to get on a short there and see how far you can take it. But didn't take it that far, that much lower. I was looking at K period to really run it down here to the maybe 56.20s or something, but they were not that far away. They were into the 25s before they stopped. But man, that was pretty gnarly. And now they're slowly getting back together, grinding higher. So we'll see if they can make something out of it going into the close. But at this point, tomorrow is going to get the tariff announcement. That's going to be Liberation Day, I guess. We're going to find out what the deal is and what we see how the market reacts to it. Now, for the news for tomorrow, we don't have a whole lot. The mortgage apps at 7. We had an ADP report at 8:15. Remember, the employment situation comes out on Friday. But ADP is like a little precursor on that. At 10 o'clock, we get factory orders, an order report at 10:30. And that's about it. We have some treasury buyback announcements going on as well, around 11 and 2 o'clock. So we'll see if that results in anything. But so 11 o'clock, we have a treasury announcement, and at 2 o'clock, a buyback result announcement. So it could, depending on how to deal with the bond market, have a reaction. But anyway, so 8:15, 10 o'clock, 10:30, we have news tomorrow. Then pay attention to those treasury announcements at 11 and 2. Now, the reaction, okay, look at that. Now we get a bit of reaction to the upside. So I guess we're going to see the bulls are taking charge again. So afternoon weakness, I mean, I tell you, this pullback here after the 2 o'clock hour, I said, oh boy, here we go again. But that looks like they're almost proving me wrong on this one and taking this higher. We'll see. They had to kind of get up above this 56.60s to really start making a difference. But it definitely looks like we're getting a little bit of strength going into the close. So at this point, I would start looking for early strength. If they close above that volume weighted mean, look for early strength. Look retest of the highs, potentially higher. If they close below that volume weighted mean, I would just start range bound at that point. Not necessarily lean on the short side, but start range bound. But so today we have one of those balance days. It's like a holding pattern kind of a day. So a big move down yesterday, reversed. Today's like a holding pattern day. Now, if tomorrow becomes a weekday when they really start taking it lower, that would be a bad sign. But then again, the announcement, the tariffs, the reaction to that, anyone's guess. But it looks to me like there's been some strength. Yesterday we had a nice reversal, a strong close. Today we have early weakness, a reasonably strong ending, at least if they can hold above the 56.60s. So if they start above that 56.60s, start looking for early strength. See if they can take it higher. If not, start off range bound, and then let's see how it shakes out going into tomorrow morning. If for some reason they take out that 56.20s, we had these three levels we talked about this morning, right? The 56.20s, the 10s, and the 5600s. If those three level comes out, look out below. I think at this point below the 56.20s, we can start thinking about the short side and then taking this lower. Looking at the bonds and the NASDAQ, so bond market just kind of holding in a range, but they are to the upside, flight to safety, very much intact. Have not taken out that 118. They have taken out the 1816 level, so they're probing to the upside. And they are kind of, if you look at capital flow on the bonds, they have taken out that ledge. They're trading right at it now at 15/16s. But if they can hold this, we have a shot at getting up to the 120s. That would be a pretty good move on the rates, but the reason for it may be not so good. In other words, flight to safety. So we'll see how that shakes out. But let's start off range bound. I would lean towards the long side on bonds and look to buy weakness against the 118.08s and the 118s for rotations back up still. And not going to be aggressive on a short shot on the bonds, even if there may be a short here at the 22s. We'll see if it gets there, but at this point, I would not be super aggressive on it. And on the Nasdaq, the same story there. Look at that weakness. I had two trades on the Nasdaq. That's all I did today. One early on trade or late in the morning trade, which when it started breaking above the highs here, and that turned out to be a reversal trade. Didn't work out. It just got shaken out. And then I tried on the little pullback here, a nice long trade, quick one, but a nice $50 out of that thing. So that's the two trades I took today. But if they close above that the 500 level, I would start off with looking for early strength, see if that party can take it. Look at it, they're really leaning into it now. So it looks to me like the bulls are taking charge here in the last part of the day. So if they can close above the 500s, look for early strength, see if they have party can take it. If they close below that 500 level, start range bound, and then let's see how the whole thing shakes out for tomorrow. But a strong close today is a very, very good sign that we may have bottomed out here. We were down here doing that last retest of the lows, and that was gnarlier than you know what, and that may have been it. We'll see. So 2 days again, 2 more days now with a reasonably strong close, at least. At least I'm assuming this close is going to be on the strong side. We'll see. But if they close it strong, they're going to be 2 days in a row now, and again after a nasty pullback. So we'll see. All right, and then finally oil and gold. I did one gold trade too. So two Nasdaq trades, one on gold trade. I tried a short trade against that pullback. And that was after that big sell-off. You remember, we saw that thing when they start taking that big sell-off here and they start taking out that 53, 54 level. And on that first tab pullback, I hopped on a short trade, fairly aggressive. And and it is going to work or not. I had enough to go to break even. And then they shook me out and then slopped around a bit before they start trading higher. So it wasn't developing to the type of trade I wanted. I was looking for the maybe retest of these lows, but that's a decent spot to get short if you're going to try a short trade. So worst the shot, it didn't give you $9 out of that trade, and that was about it. So at this point, I'm starting off range bound on gold. If they close above the 53, 54s, I'm leaning long. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking to sell against that 53, 54 level for rotations back down and see if they can retrace this back maybe down to the 3100s or 3150s. Sorry, 3120s. Let me see what gold is at. Not that. So if they can retrace it back to this level here, the 3115s, that's the thing I'm thinking about. So if they're backing off the highs now, looking for retracement back to that lower attractor, is kind of what I'm looking for. But if they close above this, the 52, 53, 54s, I will just start off range bound at that point. And then oil just holding in a range. Just kind of not going anywhere. So we'll see when the tariff announcement comes out, what happens to oil. But it's going to be pretty wild, I think, tomorrow when they figure out how to. Well, not much more to say about oil. It's pretty much range bound. I would just start and trade it as a range bound market. But back to the ES, and for tomorrow, I'm looking at a pretty wild trading day in terms of after the announcement comes out, as people figure out what the tariffs are and start repricing themselves. I mean, that kind of would be the expectation. It hasn't been a lot of leaks as far as I know, so it could be a big surprise. Who knows? Anyway, we'll leave it there. So far, two trades on the Nasdaq up 55, and then one trade on gold up 9. So we'll leave it at that for now. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you back at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. You have a good evening. Later.